Well, from apprehending bad guys to sniffing out drugs, there is very little police dogs can't do.
Unfortunately, like their two-legged partners, the pursuit of justice puts them in harm's way. And that's the case with K-9 Thor here. While chasing down a knife-wielding burglary suspect, Thor was stabbed. But that wasn't his first scare. In a previous case, Thor was tracking a suspect when he was located. Police say the suspect grabbed Thor, tried to drown him in a river. Fortunately, in both cases, Thor prevailed.
He's full of energy, full of ball drive. That's the way we like to keep him. Very playful and quite social, believe it or not, as a canine. Very resilient, always does his job. I mean, you can't ask for a better dog.
Thor is recovering from his latest injury and should be back to work in no time. Now, you know, a lot of local law enforcement agencies utilize K-9 units, including the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, you may remember back in July, we introduced you to K-9 Brune, the newest member of Wicomico's K-9 unit. He was purchased and named in memory of the late Deputy First Class John Brune.
Now, Marvel Live's Sean Stryker recently spent some time with K-9 Brune, and he joins us now in the studio. So, Sean, how's he doing?
Well, Jimmy and Lisa, he is doing great. Despite only being on the job for 2 months, K-9 Brune is already making a huge difference. And as I found out in today's Day in the Life, a lot of that success is credited to hours of training.
In today's world, there's no telling what's in store for our law enforcement agencies. So having an extra set of eyes, ears, and a powerful nose by their side can go a long way.
They're great for backup for the guys. We have one dog per shift that runs every shift.
Along with working their regular shift, each member, two-legged or four, of the Wicomico County Sheriff's K-9 unit must complete 16 hours of training each month. Deputy First Class J.C. Richardson is in charge of that training.
It's just like athletes. It's really important to keep the dogs sharp, to keep the handlers sharp. The dogs are great. The handlers are great, but neither one of them are good unless they're together. Then they become a huge team.
The newest team to join the K-9 unit, Deputy First Class John Sheshpin and his partner, K-9 Brune.
It's been awesome. You know, it's a lot more work than what it looks like. I take care of them every day. As soon as I get up in the morning, I've got to take them out. We've got to get our routine going to get ready for work. We come to work, we work all day, and then I take them home, and I've still got to take care of them when we get back home at night.
K-9 Brune is a Belgian Malinois, German Shepherd mixed, trained in his native language, Czechoslovakian. Brune specializes in drug detection, tracking, and apprehension.
But Brune is one of the unique dogs. He is trained, it's called a dual certified dog. He is trained in all of it and retains all of it and retains it well.
Today, this K-9 would be working on all of those skills, starting with drug detection.
When you do the drug detection training, where are you actually doing that training?
Well, we try to center it around where the dogs will come in contact with it the most. Vehicles, open areas, and buildings are the most prevalent.
So what kind of drugs can they detect?
Well, K-9 Brune's specialty, he's on 4 odors. He's on cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines, and ecstasy, MDMA.
So these are real drugs that they're actually smelling for?
They are, sir. We train on only real drugs, certified by the DEA lab.
With the rising heroin problem, Deputy Richardson suggested we train with that drug.
I'm trying to find a good spot that might throw him off a little bit.
Well, Brune's got a great nose. I don't know if he can do it.
Yeah, you're telling me I'm not going to find that, but let's see. I'm thinking, I don't want to hide it in the wheel well. I feel like that's too obvious. What about in the gas tank?
I think it'd be perfect.
Maybe the diesel fuel will...
Throw him off a little bit, maybe.
Let's see.
Deputy Sheshpin and K-9 Brune then went to work scanning the vehicle. No more than 10 seconds into their search, they found what they were looking for. And K-9 Brune was rewarded with his toy. Something else his exceptional sense of smell is used for is tracking.
The main thing that we use him for to track for persons is a suspect in a crime, an armed robbery, a fleeing car, someone jumps out of a car and runs, things like that. He can also be used to track missing persons, people who've wandered off, things like that.
Well, I'm a wanderer, so I'm gonna go wander and get a little lost and see if he can find me.
Oh, he will.
I need to find a good hiding spot. I don't know what this boat is doing here, but it looks like the perfect hiding spot.
Now, during the track, K-9 Bruin is trained to find objects I may have dropped, objects that could be evidence or let the officers know they're searching in the right area. In this case, he found our GoPro.
All right, so I'm sitting in the boat and I'm waiting for K-9 Bruin to find me. And when he finds me, I have to give him this tracking tool. It's basically a piece of leather, and this is how they train them to track human scent.
If I had been a criminal and was threatening officers or bystanders, K-9 Bruin would be able to take me down.
Oh, down, boys! That's a good job, buddy.
Now, with the aggression training, I asked, I begged, I pleaded to be a part of it, and they said absolutely not, and it's because of liability purposes. And after watching a couple sessions, I understand why. But Deputy Richardson, you put on the bite suit and you volunteered to show us what it's all about. The dog's going to actually be biting you.
Yes, sir. Gonna bite up here in the upper side, up in the bicep or tricep.
So what type of circumstances would you use this in real life?
Well, we're governed under what circumstance you can use this for, and Sean, it's really strict. We can't use it for very often. It's only for extreme cases, for really bad guys.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go to it. Better you than me.
Thank you.
Final warning, Sheriff's Office, K-9 unit, call me outside the door, you will be back.
You can hear Deputy Sheshbin warning the suspect to comply. After the suspect refuses, he releases Bruin. Seeing these two work together, it's clear they have a trust it takes most partners years to develop.
I've had him for about 4 months in my life. I trust him 100% completely. If I need him for something, there's no doubt that he's going to come out of that car and help me.
And joining us now in the studio is Deputy First Class John Sheshbin and his partner, K-9 Bruin. Deputy Sheshbin, you know, we just saw that this training is really intense, and being a first-time handler, that's got to be beneficial.
Absolutely. I think it was just as much as a shock to me as it was to him going through some of this intense training. But at this point in my career, I think that's what I needed to get back into the action in law enforcement, and being able to do it with him by my side has been a blast. It really has. So
after a long, hard day or plenty of training, you guys go home.
Yes.
And we understand there's a new sister.
Yes. Bruin has about a 3-month-old sister, Harper. She's a black lab, and they absolutely love each other. They will go nonstop until they both fall over if we let them. And yeah, they have a good time together. It's really nice that he can go home and actually be a real dog.
Now I have to ask you, what was it like to learn Czechoslovakian?
It was interesting. I'd never heard a word of Czechoslovakian before, and now I know maybe 10 words. And of course, that's all he knows. So he's learning a little English here and there as we go through life together here in America, but yep, it was definitely interesting.
Jimmy and Lisa, I'll tell you, it's been a lot of fun learning about K-9 Bruin. I think he's ready to get back to work, though. So
I think you're right.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much. Well, clearly, he's proving his policing skills will only continue to grow and push the limits.
Now, speaking of limits, what if you could live your life limitless? We check in with the cast of the new CBS drama and find out why Academy Award nominee Bradley Cooper shifted from the big screen to television for this special episode.
Delmarva Life will be back in minutes.